Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kathy Hilton says Rick Hilton and Mauricio Umansky's feud was taken out of context. Kathy Hilton is setting the record straight on the long-rumored feud between her husband, Rick Hilton, and her brother-in-law, Mauricio Umansky. During a recent podcast appearance, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum reflected on her decision to join the Bravo franchise and addressed how the show impacted her relationships, most notably with her sister, Kyle Richards, and Umansky. During her appearance on Wednesday's episode of Call Her Daddy, Kathy Hilton explained that she never had any personal issues with Mauricio Umansky, despite years of public speculation. "I think that got taken out of context," Hilton said of the tension between Rick and Mauricio. "I like Mauricio, I wish him the best, and we had a lot of good times together. He's the father of my nieces, and I love my nieces. All of our children are like siblings, and it's really sweet." The fallout between Rick Hilton and Mauricio Umansky stems from Umansky's departure from Hilton and Highland, Rick's real estate firm. Umansky previously said he felt slighted after not being made a partner despite generating nearly 20% of the company's annual sales. "I think I got kind of exploitive by Hilton and Highland," Umansky said in a sneak peek of his show, Buying Beverly Hills. "I went to Rick and said, I'd really like equity and to be a partner. But after Rick consulted co-founder Jeff Highland, the answer was no." Mauricio ultimately left to launch the agency, a move he admitted created deep family tension. "Kyle more than anybody. Her family stopped speaking to her," he said. "But she understood that what was done to me was wrong, and she stood by me." Despite tabloid headlines suggesting an ongoing rift, Kathy insisted that her relationship with Kyle Richards has not been as rocky as fans may think. "I'll read things 4 hours ago. Kathy and Kyle are still not getting along." "What?" Hilton laughed. "We're not fighters. We've only had 3 real fights in our entire lives." Kathy also weighed in on Kyle's separation from Mauricio, saying that while a reconciliation would put a smile on her face, her primary concern is for their daughters. "I don't like change, and I don't care how old your children are. It hurts," she said. When asked whether she'd ever consider joining The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a full-time cast member, Hilton didn't hesitate. "I couldn't because I have my husband, I have my children, my grandchildren, I have other businesses," she explained. "I love the job I have. I can come in. I really have a good time with the girls." Kathy Hilton is currently filming season 15 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Kathy Hilton has never been one to shy away from speaking her mind, especially when it involves her family. For years, the Hilton name has been synonymous with glitz, power, and legacy. But even among Hollywood's elite families, drama is never too far behind. When whispers of a supposed feud between Rick Hilton and Mauricio Umansky began circulating, fans of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and pop culture enthusiasts alike were quick to assume the worst. After all, family disagreements in the public eye often snowball into media spectacles. However, Kathy Hilton is setting the record straight. In an exclusive chat, Kathy broke her silence on the topic, insisting that the narrative around Rick and Mauricio's supposed fallout has been taken completely out of context and blown out of proportion. The spark that lit the gossip flame. The root of the alleged feud stems from a professional matter that many fans have long speculated about. Mauricio Umansky's decision to leave Hilton and Highland, Rick Hilton's prestigious real estate firm, to start his own luxury brokerage, the agency. At the time, the move was viewed as bold and ambitious, but it also raised eyebrows. Did it cause a rift between Rick and Mauricio? Rumors suggested resentment, claiming Rick felt blindsided and betrayed by Mauricio's decision to branch out on his own. "I think people love drama," Kathy said, shaking her head with a knowing smile. When you have two successful men in the same industry, of course people will create their own storyline. The truth is, they're both incredibly driven, incredibly smart, and there is a lot of mutual respect there. The idea of a feud is so exaggerated. It's like something out of a soap opera. Kathy defends her family. Kathy Hilton is no stranger to the power of media narratives. Having been in the public eye for decades, she understands how one story can snowball into a full-fledged scandal. That's why she felt compelled to clear the air not just for Rick and Mauricio, but for their entire extended family, including her sister Kyle Richards, who has often found herself caught in the middle. People have to remember, we are a big family, Kathy explained. When you have sons-in-law, daughters, grandkids, it's like any family. There are moments where people disagree or go their own way. But this idea that Rick is sitting there angry or that Mauricio somehow wronged him, that's just not accurate. She also pointed out that both Rick and Mauricio are industry leaders and fiercely independent entrepreneurs. They have their own styles and visions, Kathy said. And yes, Mauricio took a different path. But that's what makes America great. You can start your own business. You can build something from the ground up. Rick and I are proud of what he's accomplished. The Kyle factor. Of course, Kyle Richards, Kathy's sister and Mauricio's wife, has also been dragged into the narrative. On The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle has often discussed how her family dynamics have been scrutinized, and her marriage to Mauricio has had its share of gossip-fueled speculation. When asked whether Kyle ever felt torn between her husband and her brother-in-law, Kathy was quick to dispel the rumor. Kyle has never had to choose sides, and she never would. We are family, period. Do you think we're really sitting around the dinner table talking about real estate contracts? Please, we're talking about our kids, our holidays, our lives. Lessons from public life. Kathy admitted that having one's family business, both literal and figurative, on display can sometimes make situations worse than they are. You know, once something is out there in the press, it takes on a life of its own, she said. That's the hardest part. People think they know everything because they read it on social media or hear it on a podcast, but the truth is often much simpler and less dramatic. She referenced other high-profile Hollywood feuds that fizzled out once the truth came to light. We've seen this happen over and over, Kathy noted. Two people have a difference of opinion, or maybe they just aren't working together anymore, and suddenly it's painted as this deep betrayal. That's just not the case here. A message of unity for Kathy, the takeaway is that family ties are stronger than rumors. I think it's important to focus on what matters, our kids, our grandkids, and the love we have for one another, she said warmly. Rick and Mauricio are both doing amazing things. They've built incredible careers, and there's enough room for everyone to succeed without it being some competition. Indeed, both Hilton and Highland and the agency continue to thrive, dominating the luxury real estate market and representing some of the most exclusive properties in the country. And Kathy sees that as a testament to both men's vision and drive. That's something to celebrate, not something to fight about, she emphasized.